As I was reflecting on my increasing leadership responsibilities and challenge, even as we approach the year 2026, I found myself asking the question, what are some of the key traits that are going to guide my approach to leadership in this new season? What is the best way that I can actually organize my leadership responsibilities in order that I am helpful and impactful in as far as the people that I am working with and the team that I am supporting is concerned. And I came up with just a few key ideas, to be precise, 5 key ideas that I would want to call traits of effective biblical leadership in a Christian life. And I just want to share these principles in a very, very brief manner. And I want to invite us even to think about them in regard to, the department that you're leading, in regard to the ministry that you're leading, but also in the context of family leadership. And these principles are actually based on the Word of God. And my most inspiring, model of leadership is actually Jesus Christ Himself. We catch up with Jesus in John chapter 13 when you read from verse 13 to verse 17, and we are presented with a very, very transformational, picture of leadership where we see Jesus stooping down to the level of servanthood and actually taking up a towel and wrapping it around himself and just going down on his knees to wash his disciples' feet. And we realize, from this, illustration that the highest leader is actually the one who serves. If you want to be most effective in leadership, you have to come down to that level where you see yourself first and foremost as a servant before anything else. And using this servant leader kind of a model, I would want us to really think about how to lead when you're within a team and when you're part of a team, because we are actually invited by the servant of God, Peter, who actually learned from the master himself not to lord it over the people that we are leading, but rather to be an example to them. And so what are these 5 traits that I want to talk about in this particular, episode? Number 1, the first thing that you have and you need to have is clarity as a leader. When you think about clarity, I want you to think about clarity from a perspective of visionary shepherding. That as a leader, you want to be able to provide direction. You want to be able to be, yes, both a good shepherd, but a shepherd also that knows the path. So you're able to see where you're going, and you're able to clarify that in the minds of the people that you are leading, so that the vision is not broad. The vision is actually articulated in a way that everybody who listens to you and looks at you will be able to say, this man or this woman knows where they're going, and therefore it is worthwhile following them along that path. And that's the reason why the writer of Proverbs, in Proverbs 11 and verse 14, states that where there is no guidance, people fall, but in abundance of counselors, there is actually safety. And how do we actually use this in practice? How do we work with this idea of clarity and visionary shepherding in our context in 2026? It means that you need to be able to set clear goals. You need to really actually communicate the why. You need to be able to create an environment where people feel safe to give their input. In other words, you're saying you'll be able to look at, where is it that we're going, and have goals that are clear and they're articulated in a very, very clear way, because people want to understand not just what you want them to do, but the why behind what they're doing. Because if they understand the why, they will become creative, and they'll be able actually to outdo the expectations that you have for them, because they can be able to say, we understand even the guiding principles that are hidden behind the activities that we are being called upon to participate in. And therefore, you're also going, by so doing, create an environment where people are feeling that they're safe and they can be able to give their input very, very easily. And so that is clarity. And that's the number one, principle, that number one trait that I desire that we are going to grow and develop as leaders. The second principle that we're going to focus on, and maybe the other three, we'll look at them in the next episode, is commitment. We are saying clarity, yes, which is about visionary shepherding, and then commitment, which is about faithful stewardship. If you are going to lead efficiently in 2026, you have to let this sink in your mind. You must be a committed leader. You must be a leader who is a faithful steward of the assignment that God has given to you. And this is about being reliable and being dedicated. You must be able to show up. You're not going to be a leader who is telling other people where they need to go, and you just remain, hidden somewhere. You need to be in the front line. You need to be actually leading the way in the action itself. You're not going to be a general who sits in the office and you're not going to touch the assignment even with the tip of your finger. You've got to show dedication. You've got to show reliability. And when you look at still once again in the gospel according to Luke chapter 12 and verse 48, we are reminded that everyone to whom much is given, much is required. And as a leader, there is so much that has been entrusted in you: resources, opportunities, and even people that God has entrusted to you. And it is really, really important for you to realize that much is required of you in that capacity. And therefore, you must demonstrate the ability to be a faithful steward. And how does it really work in practice? It is demonstrated by staying the course during challenges. When challenges come, the leader will not be the one to step aside quickly. He will stay the course even when it is very, very difficult and challenging. You're going to invest fully in the development of others. And this also again calls for patience. You're going to see people who are struggling, and because you are committed to them, you are committed to stewarding these people that you're growing and that you're leading effectively. You'll be patient with them, and you invest fully to their development day after the other. And then at the same time, you're going to make a decision that you balance between professional success and dedication with personal well-being. That you're not just going to push people to perform, but at the same time, you're going to be interested about their welfare, because you're committed to them as individuals, as persons, before you are committed to what they're going to deliver for the organization or the ministry, so to speak. And so these are the two things, and I'll bring the other three in the future episode. But we're saying for you to be effective and successful as a leader in 2026, number one, cultivate clarity, be a visionary shepherd. And number two, commit to faithful stewardship. And that way, you're going to see results and fruits that will amaze you. And therefore, we are going to later on look at capacity, which is about equipping leaders. We're going to look at care, which is about compassionate guidance. And then we're going to look at courage, which has to do with principled pioneering. Thank you so much for following with me.